another third Wednesday, a little bit dreary, but you're here for 1 million cups. And so we welcome you to this month's edition of 1 Million Cups. My name is Aaron Wiggum. I'm the managing director of New You, but also the lead organizer for 1 Million Cups. And we're here to have a good time, get to know each other as founders. We have two wonderful presenters here today to present their companies. I want to go over a few quick housekeeping rules. So their restrooms are just down the hall here if you've never been here before. Also, we want to make sure that, so what's going to happen is the founders will give a 6 to 10 minute presentation about their companies. And then on the completion of their presentation, then you will ask about 20 minutes of Q&A. We ask that the conversation be constructive and that we will be edifying for the founder. They will conclude their presentation with an ask to this community. So what is your ask of this community? Of course, not for customers or for business, right? But also something around strategy or whatnot. We have a team of us who actually do this. So like I said, I'm Aaron, I'm the lead organizer. There's also Ethan Harkey, which you'll see around here taking pictures. There's Mitch Sims, Tara Payne, who will be here in a moment. And we make up the 1 Million Cups leadership team. I also want to thank our sponsors, 36 Degrees North, for giving us the space, and Topeka Coffee. But today we have a treat for you. I made a little stop past Dunkin' Donuts. And so if you want some Dunkin', feel free to get yourself a cup of coffee and a donut as we sit back and listen to these founders, all right? So let's get right into it. We have our first founder who is going to come up and share her business with us. I did not get a chance to meet her at Act House Demo Day, but was totally impressed with how she presented and what she presented at Act House Demo Day. You guys are really in for a treat. I also want to give Maria Kim the assist for helping us out with recruiting her to come and present today. So let's give Maria a hand, you all, for helping us out. All right, y'all ready to get the party started? That's weak. Y'all ready to get the party started? Yeah, there we go. All right, I want you to put your hands together for none other than Patience Gitau with Nurse Bridge. All right. Said it right?
Yes,
all
thank
right,
you.
Good.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patience Gitau. I am the CEO and co-founder of Nurse Bridge. Imagine if the only hospital within a 100-mile radius of you and your loved ones is at risk of closing its doors forever due to the rising costs and scarcity of healthcare workers. This is the unfortunate reality for over 600 rural hospitals across our nation that serve millions of patients, and also the reason why 20,000 Americans die annually. As a healthcare worker for over a decade, I witnessed the firsthand cause and effect of nursing shortages on patient care, a problem that disproportionately affects our rural healthcare systems, who are already limited in resources. Patients have to wait hours for basic needs, medications, and life-saving treatments, while nurses like myself were still struggling to keep up with our workloads. This is also why 96% of healthcare facilities like the ones I worked at must and do rely on temporary staffing, but that's not without the problems of these current solutions. The problems of arbitrary expensive rates that are up to 95% markup on the gross wages of these healthcare workers, receiving unregulated and unqualified healthcare workers, and only being able to fill 15% of job vacancies. The current solutions are one size fits some, and they do not address the problems of recruiting healthcare workers to rural healthcare systems. These are the problems that we have been able to identify through our National Science Foundation funded research, hundreds of interviews with government officials, healthcare workers, healthcare systems, and connecting healthcare workers to healthcare systems for the past 2 years manually. Introducing NurseBridge, the first and only temporary staffing platform dedicated to saving over 20% of Americans who live in rural communities. NurseBridge is a B2B data-driven medical staffing platform that leverages AI to enable optimal matching and pricing. Healthcare workers can easily find job opportunities that match their skill set, browse facilities and reviews, and earn premium pay while feeling a sense of fulfillment for serving an area in need. On the other hand, healthcare facilities have access to a pool of highly qualified workers who have gone through rigorous screening processes. The platform provides customized staffing recommendations based on data and analytics, while streamlining administrative tasks such as timesheets, credentialing, and pricing, resulting in significant time savings for everyone. Our competitive temporary staffing agencies and temporary staffing platforms do not have rural healthcare systems as their target or even guarantee as their target market or guarantee any savings. None of our competitors have integrated technology for real-time pricing analytics that maximize savings. Our model is simple. By leveraging technology to automate this time-consuming process of temporary staffing, our clients pay less, but our nurses get paid more. Our offering to this $46.7 billion market is a minimum of 20% of savings on gross wages and increasing the open shift fill rate from 15% to 75%. Our revenue streams come from a service fee percentage markup on gross wages, subscription plans for third-party staffing agencies, and transaction fees on optional 24/7 instant wage access. In the past 6 months, thanks to ACT Tulsa, these are some of the things we've been able to accomplish. We have an allied healthcare network of over 400 healthcare workers. We have contracted with over 50 healthcare systems. We've acquired our Joint Commission accreditation, which means that we are eligible to provide our service to any healthcare system across the nation. We've partnered with AT&T FirstNet to make sure that our nurses stay connected in unmarked territories. As of last week, we've acquired a contract with the state of Oklahoma, Department of Corrections, and much more. Our next goal is to build up on this traction and keep targeting the federal government, which accounts for 1/3 of all U.S. spending in the largest healthcare system in the nation. Our ask, these are some of the things that we're asking through 1 Million Cups, is intros to rural healthcare system or partners, grant opportunities or resources, and expert opinion and critiques. I look forward to your questions. Just like the healthcare workers, NurseBridge is essential. Thank you.
Wonderful job, Patience. We're going to open the floor up for questions. Who wants to kick us off? All right, let's start with Mark, and we'll come right here.
Patience, can you talk about like a singular customer, clinic, and a nurse, and kind of talk us through at a base level what that feels like in terms of the matchmaking, if you will, for one of your clinics or facilities that needs the staffing?
Okay. Yeah, so in these rural healthcare systems, let me pick one. There's so many. Like Carnegie, say we're staffing at a nursing home in Carnegie, Oklahoma. And so say if tomorrow their nurse gets COVID or is sick for whatever reason, they have no one, that may be the only nurse to take care of all of their patients. So what do? So they have to rely on these temporary staffing platforms. So right now, what they're doing is they're reaching out to either an agency or a platform, but they're not really getting their shift filled. They're not getting that need. So patient care is severely diminished. So through our platform, our platform is modified directly for these rural healthcare systems. We have resources within our platform to help these nurses get there, and through our pricing analytics, the rural healthcare system is able to offer the nurse more money to get there, and the nurse also feels safe and secure knowing that she's going to a facility that has been through ratings and review, and also this healthcare system is able to see the employee's profile with all their credentialing and know that they're getting somebody good to take care of their patients. So it's really with the click of a button, the nurse is able to go in maybe on their weekend, they want to pick up an extra shift. They go in on the platform, okay, they see this nursing home in Carnegie needs a nurse with my qualifications. I like the pay. I know I'll be connected when I go out there. I'm not going to lose connection, be in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to request the shift, then Carnegie gets that request, the administrator gets that request, they look at it, they see, okay, this nurse has been through all these qualifications, we know we'll get somebody good, and then they accept it, and then the nurse is routed that way. So it's pretty simple through the platform. Don't know if that kind of answered your question a bit.
Right here.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your team and how you can pull this off, reviewing all these health systems and nurses, and yeah, I'd love to hear a little more.
Yeah, so right now our team is a bit small. It's me and my husband, Emmanuel, who's the other co-founder, and then we also contract with a data analyst and another engineer, so we have them on board as well. And basically the way that we get to these healthcare systems, there's a couple different opportunities. We've been bidding on government contracts. That's how we got through some of them. We've done a lot of like cold calling. That's how we've got a lot of them. And our primary source of like clients is referrals because of our services. We do need funding to pull it off to go nationwide. That is one thing that we will have to have because right now, you know, the credentialing and all the legalistics is a lot of work. So to get to that service available market, that 9.3 billion market, we will need help to get to that point. But right now, our target is like Oklahoma, and we have a pretty good path to get there. I don't know if that answers. Do you have any follow-up?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
super helpful. I am curious more on the financials. Like, what are you guys taking payment and paying the nurse? Is that the model?
Yeah. The facility gets to decide what they want to pay the nurse, and then we'll charge a service fee percentage on whatever that wage is. So that's how we get paid. And then we're going to start, we have a wait list of agencies that also want to use our platform. So we'll start onboarding them on a subscription basis.
So you could be a kind of a market where
Yeah.
different staffing agencies use your platform.
Yeah.
Peter?
Yeah, patience. So, just coming off of Mark's question, what is different about your service versus the competition? I'm trying to understand. I know you touched on it, but again, can you just clarify that the difference for me? Like, why are
Yeah. I'll say the number one difference is our target for these rural healthcare systems, and then kind of in tie with that is our pricing analytics.
So they can't come in and take, can they swoop in and make that relationship on a rural basis, or are you building something that keeps them?
So they can, but it's not a one-size-fit-all. And the reason why our competitors are not really targeting these rural markets is because there's not a lot of profit there. Our pricing model and through our data analytics, our real-time data analytics, we find a way to make it affordable for them, but also make the pricing attractive to these healthcare workers. The pricing to date is not based on data. It's based on arbitrary rates that have kind of been price gouged as a result of the COVID pandemic. So that's kind of our main key, is that we're making it affordable for them because the other solutions, like I said, is a one-size-fits-all. They're not tailored towards these rural healthcare systems and their needs. So they can't really afford it long term, and that's why they have had to shut down. They have had to shut down, and that's why they're continuing to shut down, because they have to use these solutions, but it limits their resources, and in the end, you know, essentially they just can't afford to keep their doors open.
Thank you.
JD?
Can you tell us
I love that question because that's what I love to talk about. That's like the most important thing to me. So I've been in healthcare for over a decade. Started as a CNA, nursing homes, home health, and I became an RN. And I love patient care. But then COVID happened, and I got assigned the role as a COVID nurse. I just got off maternity leave, and it was actually my birthday. I got my first COVID patient, and I was so scared. It was the scariest thing. COVID was scary once upon a time, I promise. But yeah, and that just kind of, a lot of nurses, we were called heroes, but we were really thrown under the bus. And then I realized, then I was like, I know you all heard about how much nurses were making during this time as travel nurses. So I decided to dabble into that, and I thought I was making a lot of money, but there were some jobs that I was like, you couldn't pay me $1 million an hour to make this worth it. It's a priceless job. And so then I realized, the agencies are making 95% of markup on what I'm making, and they're not even doing any work. We are the ones that are doing the work, the labor. So I decided to create an agency to manually do this. And from there, I was like, okay, I'm going to give nurses more money because I don't need 95% to cover my overhead. That's ridiculous. It's price gouging. Just like they're price gouging masks, they're price gouging nurses and getting away with it. And they still are getting away with it. So I was like, and that's another thing is people ask, okay, how are you going to get nurses? That's never been a problem. I know what nurses want. We get nurses all the time based off of just referrals. We don't have to advertise for nurses ever. It's so easy to get healthcare workers because I know what they want. I know what they deserve. So from there I was like, okay, let me make it fair for my nurses to get the better pay and better jobs that they want and they deserve. And then from there we realized how manual it is and tedious, and we wanted to create a platform to kind of help our business. And then from there we got into ACT. And we've just done a lot of pivoting. And then, as we were, we wanted to create this platform for our agency, and there are a lot of platforms out there. There are a lot of agencies out there. So we've been pivoting to see, okay, where can we kind of come in here and dominate which market? And what we realize is this rural market is severely untouched. The solutions are not helping that area. So that's kind of how we pivoted to this rural market. And also, I've worked in rural areas as well. So a lot of these solutions come from my experiences as a nurse, as a travel nurse, and an agency owner. The partnership with AT&T was one of the most important things for me because, I've been traveling to these rural locations and losing service and being chased by a dog, going to see a patient, and I'm like, I can't get a hold of anyone. I'm from the city. So these are all things that, from my experience, from my coworkers, that's where these solutions come from. That's pretty much it. Don't know if you have any other.
Anyone else? Questions?
So I have one more.
Sure.
So patients, so you talked about pricing and this 95%, and I understand what you're saying. So what are your margins?
So
And sorry, is it a race to the bottom? Like, is it just going to be you competing with pricing to get the lowest price so you can beat these other guys? Like, how do you, over time, like you're small today, but you're going to grow. I think this is a great idea. I don't want it to be a race to the bottom for you. Understand?
Right. So that is one thing that we are trying to figure out with our current contracts, because those are the people that we started with manually. We haven't really changed that pricing yet, so we're at a 50 to 60% markup on the gross wages. Looking at dropping it, not really sure about that as we start onboarding new clients onto the platform, because we're just working with the ones that we've previously had with the manual service. But right now we're staying at 50 to 60. I've been told not to go under 30 or something, but that's, I don't know.
You just need to have, I'm sure you've thought a lot about this, is what is that differentiating factor going forwards that makes you different than these other bigger providers?
Right. Yeah. And I will also say another differentiating factor is a lot of the features on our platform, the review systems. And I always talk about the compliance thing. a lot of people, that's another thing, is people may not understand how big of a deal it is. I don't know if anyone's heard of Operation Nightingale out of Florida, where over 7,000 nurses bought fake licenses and have been working over the years across the country. You can Google it. But that's, I've worked with great nurses, but I've also worked with really bad nurses. They get fired from one hospital, they go to the next. It happens. So that's another thing that's really big, is the compliance piece. These platforms, they don't care anything about compliance. Most of them don't have the Joint Commission accreditation. It's a very rigorous vetting process. It's very rigorous, and but these rural healthcare systems, and that's the other thing. When these rural healthcare systems finally do get someone, it's usually somebody that can't go to any of the other hospitals. So that's.
You're vetting these people to that degree, like better than anybody else. That's certainly a big differentiating factor.
Yeah.
Since you're vetting the people, will it be a subsection where people that you don't vet that can maybe get on board as well? That way so you don't use both sides.
So I don't get in what?
So you get money from both sides. People that were vetted, like they maybe want them, but then people who weren't here.
Oh no, yeah, that's a liability thing. I'm not playing with that. No, like I said, I've worked, and that's, that comes down to patient care. That's one thing that's very clear. It's black and white. We don't do that. People have been getting away with it, especially since COVID, and also the W-2 thing. Mm-hmm. We are a W-2 employer. A lot of these platforms and agencies hire these healthcare workers as independent contractors. That is a very huge liability risk for these healthcare systems, because nurses, CNAs, CMAs, LPNs cannot legally work as 1099s because they cannot work independently. They have to work under the orders of a doctor. These current solutions have gotten away with it for this period of time because it's just like a gray area, but until there's a lawsuit, then then it's a problem. So that's another huge compliance thing that we're on.
Have you considered offering accreditation for individuals? So basically, to JD's point, not working with the bad ones and giving them a way to get in, but working with the ones who are willing to get accredited or to be substantiated in whatever way. Have you considered that being another revenue stream for you, that they can actually be certified under your business?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because as we've had discussions with government officials, with the Secretary of Labor, and when we get down to our platform is for crisis temporary staffing.
Okay.
It doesn't actually solve the problem of nursing shortages. The nursing shortages problem actually is at the education level. That's through our resource. That's where the root of the problem is. And that is one thing we have looked into. One of our other co-founders, she works with Stimuli, and we've been talking about, using VR for nurse education, and that kind of thing. So that is something that we've been looking at, surface level, that we've been talking about, because, we're not solving the entire problem. We're helping these areas that have, urgent need. That, people are going to die if we don't get somebody here to help, type of thing. But yeah, that is one thing we're definitely interested in, because that is the root of the problem.
Right. One follow-up question. Where's Nurse Bridge in 5 years, and what is the plan for it? Is it to grow and hold, or is it to grow and exit?
I'm not sure about the grow and hold or exit thing yet. Okay. But definitely, we want to be the standard for pricing, compliance, and scheduling. With the government officials we've talked about, they're getting a lot of pushback to cap the wages of nurses, something I'm really against. Don't tell me you want to cap my wages and you're not going to cap anybody else's wages.
And their wages, because their stuff isn't capped.
Right. So we're the healthcare heroes. But there are states that have already there's, I think, up to 7 states that have already put laws in place for a limit on the nurse wages. And that's because these wages have been price gouged with no data backing. So our goal is to go to the government, and proposed this solution. So it is the standard, everybody can use this for their pricing for these healthcare workers based off of real-time data. Okay, there's a spike in flu here, the wage is going to be fluctuated or whatever a little bit. Or, this date, this nurse with this specialties, and so we're trying to have this nationwide as a standard in 5 years, not just the rural healthcare systems, but that's definitely going to be our target, and we want to help them first. And yeah, so that's kind of.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, right here.
A quick question on your name. Was Medical Solutions called NurseBridge before? Because when I Googled NurseBridge, they somehow are first. There's a link to Medical Solutions before you guys.
I don't even know who Medical Solutions is, so.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'd suggest Googling NurseBridge.
Okay.
And checking that out.
Yeah, and we've gotten our trademark, so that's, yeah.
Ask Kate.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm also curious, so for construction, we have a similar problem with carpenters, and the solution has been that you have unions. Is that kind of a route that could happen for nurses, where nurses could be part of a union where they're getting representation, not just for temporary, but staffing? The union does that. They charge an hourly rate, and they also help maintain working conditions, so the nurses are treated fairly. Which is, so it's a cool spot you're in where you can negotiate between the company and the individual. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question. I haven't really looked into that too deep. There are nurse unions in certain states. It's not in Oklahoma, but in California. But there is an issue with these unions because they will go on strike, and the hospital will close down and people will die. So I don't really know all the legalistics or the political side of that, but
That's a good point, because that could really help you. That's a good marketing point for you and your business. And it did happen like last month in New York. They threatened to shut down two of the biggest hospitals in Manhattan. And they came right to literally the midnight. And they finally inked the deal.
But
They were saying, look, we love our patients, but you're not paying us.
right, but the pricing is still not based on any kind of science or data. It's based off of what is the next person getting paid.
Patients, think about what you could do then for the government of the city of Manhattan.
Right. And if they present, okay, these rates are based off of all of these factors, inflation, all of these things, this is a fair rate. We can all agree that this is a fair rate because it's based off of science.
You could go to the union, right? They could be a partner.
Right.
with you. Or you could go to the city. They could be a partner.
Yeah, the unions could use your platform. That's great.
Right.
That's a good idea, yeah.
That's the point.
All right. Let's give patients a hand, you all.
Thank you.
Wonderful job. All right, so we are going to take a quick break. Load up with some coffee. I don't want to take any of this home. There's donuts over here. We're going to swap out, so you can come on 40, Emmanuel, and we'll get right back in just a moment. All right, folks. All right, we're going to get started so we can end on time. We have two individuals who are going to co-present today. And these gentlemen also just presented a week or two ago at the Act House Demo Day and did a wonderful job presenting. We are excited to support them in their growth. And they have some CPG stuff that they're doing, as well as an actual restaurant, and so for catering and all that. So I'm going to move out the way and present to you Emmanuel and Ariel with Red Taco. Give them a hand.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna try this one. Okay, I'm gonna start with the video and then we're gonna continue with the presentation. Okay.
Imagine the taste of some delicious, crunchy Mexican birria tacos.
Guys, I'm so excited! I found birria tacos. This is like the magic juice.
God, he's in a lot of dips. I'm excited. Let's do it. That is crazy.
So how about making them at home?
I had the bright idea the other day that I was going to figure out how to make birria at home, and let's just say it didn't go as planned. I found this Instant Pot recipe online that looked pretty straightforward. It definitely had a lot of steps.
A lot of steps.
The flavor overall came out okay. The meat just didn't slap the way it should. And I know there has to be an easier and better way to make this. Yeah, I'll go ahead and leave this one to the professionals.
Just a little PSA if you're trying to make tacos. When you're blending it up in the blender, hold the blender lid down firmly.
We are the Red Tacos.
And this is how we do it.
Okay, so thanks for coming today. My name is Emmanuel. I'm the co-founder from the Red Tacos, and let's be clear. 99% of the people in America love tacos. The other 1% also, but they're on a diet or they're making lettuce tacos or something like that, but there's also tacos, right? So we found out that in 2021, birria tacos was the most searched food in the entire world. No Mexican food, no Mexican tacos, it was birria tacos. So it was super popular in Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Everybody was looking for birria tacos, how to make it, where found it, and how to get some tacos. Well, let me talk about my tacos with you. If you want to make some tacos, you have to go to the Mexican stores to try to find a lot of ingredients. There's like 25, 26 ingredients that you must buy to start making the marinade. And if you probably can do the whole process, it's going to be so hard to try to make the artisanal way. To talk about my tacos and my product, I need to go back on my history. It all started in Mexico, in Jalisco, Mexico, where my grandmother, my abuelita de mi abuelita, she passed this recipe through generations and until my mom. My mom, she was the one who learned how to make this recipe. And all together, as family, we came to this country, searching for the American dream, right? Searching for a better life, a better place. And we start selling our tacos in a food truck. Unfortunately, we do that on 2020 when the pandemic started and the whole world. It was hard, it was tough, but that experience let us know that nothing is impossible to do. We continue working, and then we start meeting different people who was allowed to help us, and that's the way where I met my partner in crime, who with me started making the next product.
All right. So as he was explaining, I'm sorry, I want to step on there. Basically, we started with a restaurant and we have a fleet of food trucks out there. We soon realized that for us to be able to reach beyond Tulsa, we will have to somehow streamline our product. And that's when we thought about, instead of bringing food trucks out to the whole country, we developed a formula and a product that we can start selling on the shelves. And that's how, with, you can click all three. With the help of some locals, we were able to develop the birria marinade. And, you know, without changing the flavor and streamline the process of going on hours and hours of labor and a lot of products, to just having a jar that you can basically use on meat. And it should be as simple as 1, 2, 3. Just spread the marinade on the meat. You cover the pot in water and then let it simmer for 2 hours. Artisanally, it may take up to 2 days. So we were able to just cut the process down to just 2 hours. I feel that's probably our greatest achievement. We know we're in America. We know American people like practical, easy stuff. And that's what we're aiming for. So far, with the locals, we have a heavy traffic. Our tacos are pretty popular in the area. We have anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 people going through our website. We see that as a market to begin with and start creating a portfolio before we go to bigger companies such as big buck chain markets. We're going to start selling it local. So far, Mother Road Market is on board, start selling it there. And we have a few Mexican-specific products, stores that we're also going to be selling our product at. Besides the customers that we already have buying our tacos in our restaurants and food trucks, which are extremely excited about the fact that they're going to be able to make their own tacos at home now and just experience that themselves rather than going to a place and buying it. We're also talking to a pretty popular Mexican store supermarket chain here in the area. You may have heard of Supermercado Morelos, which is about 8-10 stores here local also. And hopefully we're gonna be able to start selling these online nationwide and just start shipping it to their homes, wherever our customers might be at, whether it's California, Texas, and all that. And that's basically what we're doing. We're just starting with the marinade, but we want to put out there a full Red Tacos line, which is essentially all the products that we now sell in our restaurant and food trucks, which is the marinade to begin with, then the seasoning for the consomme soup, which is the magic juice that the ladies were talking about on the ad, and the salsas, the seasoning for the meat. So we're just literally just getting started. The consomme season is coming along well. It's almost done, and hopefully we're going to be also selling that here in the next month. So that's what we do, and again, we're the co-founders of Red Tacos.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions?
Questions? Yes, you gonna be able practically to use that to make the tortillas red and to make the red tacos in your home. But there's another product called consomme, which is the soup. This product needs another seasonings, and that product comes along with this marinade. So we're gonna start selling this to introduce the product to the consomme. It's gonna be the next step for us to the market.
So yeah, essentially the broth that is left is as if you bought beef broth off the supermarket. If you go to Walmart and buy the beef broth, essentially what's left on the pot. Yeah, you can use it, you can dip it if that's your question in there. However, a recipe calls for some more spices, and this is just our recipe. What's left is technically consomme, but if you want the same flavor red tacos have, you have to add some more spices on there, and that's what we're working on developing and rushing, trying to get it out there too, so they have like the full red tacos experience per se. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how much time you're saving people, because if you make it like the traditional way, it's going to take hours.
Mhm.
How much time are you saving us by using your marinade?
We're saving people about 36 hours of work if you did it artisanally, as if it's done in Mexico, where you have to like dig a hole in the ground and throw the firewood on there, put the pot, cover it, then bury it, and all that stuff. So that's how it's done down there.
Do you have a video of the traditional process?
We don't have a video per se to show here, but there's plenty of videos out there on how to make traditional Mexican birria.
I'd see it on Instagram with the traditional video and a buy button. I think we can make it happen.
I think so too. Yeah, we're working on the marketing. We're just getting started. Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. One follow-up. Where are the samples?
Well, actually,
We brought some, but it's for sale though. Just kidding. Any other questions?
JD?
How many tacos, or is that one meal for one can or jar, or is it like a couple?
So a jar makes 4 pounds of your choosing of beef they want to use, whether it's inside round, bottom round, chuck roast. This will marinate 4 pounds. How big your tacos are is up to you, and how many servings you will get out of that too. Is still. Yeah, there are instructions on the actual package of on how many. It just says that you can make 4 pounds of beef with that jar. Again, there's not really a measure on how many servings it will give you, because it depends on how you make your own tacos. And this is basically a prototype. We have worked on this quite a bit after the fact, and the instructions. I don't think the instructions. Yeah, the instructions are not on here yet or anything like that. But it is selling. We actually have an actual product right on the shelf, and that one does have the instructions and everything else. That one's perfected. This was kind of a prototype just for the presentation. We have, yes, sir. And basically, we're going to be selling this to whoever has the biggest check for us. So we're not opposed to selling kilograms, I don't know, tons if you need to. It does not matter. We'll work it. We'll work it. We'll make it happen.
We had a hand in here somewhere.
I got a question. So congratulations on your company.
Thank you.
The question I have is, let's say that once that you start going to the market and you're getting more and more successful, what stops any of the giants in the food industry to come after you and create a similar product? How do you protect your branding or the product itself?
We're betting on our flavor. There are other products out there, so we're betting on our product being better than our competitors. And basically, we know that there's big companies out there that have a similar product, but we're hoping that our customers here are very loyal, because we know that, you can go anywhere to buy birria tacos out here in Tulsa. They're everywhere. But we keep getting all these customers that go and give us feedback, and they're like, we went to a different spot, but the flavor just wasn't there. So that's basically the quality is what we're betting on to compete. Maybe not compete, but to keep ourselves successful.
Right here. Oh.
To complete the answer, I know it's kind of weak, be just stand out for flavor, but this is a product made for first generation Mexicans who bring the all flavor from our country, and is not something that everybody here in America can make, because there's a lot of species that is unknown in this country. So we're bringing all that flavor. So when you taste this compared with another product, you're gonna find out that the salt is perfect, the seasoning is perfect, everything is just ready to use. You don't gonna use anything else. So if you buy a different product in another store, probably you're gonna need to use more salt, use more kind of species to get a better flavor. So that's why.
To follow up, sorry. So I cannot doubt that the flavor is delicious, right? My point is, once you start making millions of dollars and you are, kind of a sexy product, these companies do have millions and millions of dollars just spending in research and tasting and, iterating their flavor. So how do you protect or how do you create that brand awareness that some people are going to say, I'm going to use this product instead of the other, beyond just the flavor? I don't think the flavor is going to be enough to protect the product or the brand itself in the long term.
We somehow, to be honest, we haven't really gotten to that point yet. At this point, we're just trying to create revenue what we have, and we are working on developing something that will be strong enough for us to get there to the point you're talking about. But at this point, we're still in the developmental process of the product. To be honest, so far we were able to secure a trademark, the Red Tacos, and with the help of Kate here, that's our name now, and nobody will be able to use that name because it's ours now.
And also, we want to do what Coca-Cola did and what McDonald's and Pizza Hut and stuff. They were the first. So there's not a lot of this product. I don't think I know one product like this for birria specifically. So we want to be the first to have this this experience on the market. And then, like when you go to McDonald's, you don't care about if it's the best one or if it's the cheapest one or whatever. You just know that McDonald's is the place that you want to go. So we because of the name, because of the branding, because of the power that it comes with the communication. So that's what we're going to do. We want to make this product like successful with all the trend that is right now about birria. That everybody's trying to make some paste from different kind of chilies and different kind of things, and they don't get the flavor. So that's why we want to use that trend to make our brand, and then we're going from there.
We had a question right here in the middle, and then we'll come up here to Pete. Oh, okay, all right. Peter?
So, just coming off of your question, he was talking about barriers to entry. What about just selling out? Like when you're ready? Like maybe that's are you gonna, to your point earlier, are you gonna hold this and run it for 50 years? Or are you going to sell it to somebody else? Maybe you'll sell it to one of the big food.
Yeah, once again, whoever offered the biggest paycheck, I think we're down to, because we have actually talked about that option before, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with the company named Goya.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're like, if Goya comes to us and offer us some, something that is convenient for us, then we will take that. And we're two very creative persons. To be honest, neither one of us has background on any of these. As in 3 years ago, he's a dentist. I have background in logistics, but our mom is a hell of a good cook, and we decided that we were going to try and capitalize on that, and that's what we're doing. And so far, we're doing better selling tacos than we were doing logistics and dentistry. So we have proven ourselves with that here locally, we have been able to capitalize on the trends and the flavor and all that, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to streamline that same vision that we have, but we're open to be honest, doing business with whatever is most convenient.
And also, we just own the name flavorsfrommexico.com. So we're gonna start making more products with this brand, Flavors from Mexico, and we can start doing salsas, doing different kind of products like mole, like things that it actually come from Mexico. And to be honest, Actolsa was the step for us to create all this diversity and start thinking bigger. So if somebody came with a good offer for this, we can sell it and work on other stuffs too.
I had to step out for a minute, so I wasn't sure if this was in your presentation or not, but I would encourage you to incorporate into your presentation, especially with founders and stuff, the fact that you're pivoting industries from dentistry, from logistics to do this. Like that's a powerful, it shows that you're like taking a leap and you're committed to this thing. So I would encourage you, if it wasn't in there, to
Thank you.
incorporate that in there. Yeah. Anyone? Kate?
Have you thought about, I mean, you guys said this saves us 36 hours. Like, because I cook, and I don't want to spend 36 hours on a recipe. So have you thought about somewhere in your marketing, even on your label, like saying something like, save yourself 36 hours and get the great flavor of these. You're amazing burrito tacos. I've had them. They are incredible. You guys haven't had them yet.
Yeah, most definitely. And again, we consider ourselves to still be on the developmental stage of the product. And so far, we have a lot of people that are interested. We thankfully have been running into people that are willing to help, like Road Market and now Morelos. And we're just seeing that we're already little by little starting to create profit on this, and still in our developmental stage, trying to create a portfolio and honestly just learning from a lot of good people and on how to do this.
All right, we got JD
Yes.
in the back.
This is not yet on Amazon. We haven't gotten to that point yet. The $5.99 pricing is based off what we spend on making the product, production, labor, and all that stuff. We're profiting about 50% per jar on just that price point. Yeah, 50-60% is what we're looking at this point. But again, we're working on being more profitable as we go, as we produce more and more and more. Because right now we're printing 250 labels at a time. We're hoping that we're gonna be able to produce thousands and thousands, and price is gonna go down that way. So that's.
Mm-hmm.
Right, shipping is going to be an additional cost. Yes, sir. We were thinking, because there is one product out there that we're trying, not competing with, but we're trying to not use as a model, but we're like taking samples of them. And price point wise, we don't want to go up too high, because then we don't think we will be able to sell our product. But we're still in the discovery and developmental process of the product. With that price point right now, we're still profitable. And again, this is not going to be our only size. We're trying to still perfect the product and hopefully come up with different sizes where we're more profitable even, later on. That's our way of thinking.
In the back there.
Just a brainstorm suggestion. As a consumer, I'm wondering if it might seem more authentic if there was a little bit more representation of how your mom made the recipe and stuff. More authentic.
Yeah, well, actually, we're working on make a video with my mom. She said yes finally about how to make like artisanal birria, and then compare with this process on the real. On the new kitchen or something like that, and then to people be able to see all the process and see how easy it is to use this. And we're gonna start working on our social medias and all all the ways to show that video, that pictures and stuff. We just start working like selling this right now because we get this advice from somebody in Actualsa who says, if you have it, just sell it. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Don't worry if it needs things on your level or anything. Just put it out there and start selling, and you're gonna find out things that you're gonna need to fix. So that's what we're doing right now, and we're gonna start making all that things that you're giving us advice to us.
All right, last question, and we have to wrap up.
I didn't get the first part.
How can people pay for the? How can we pay?
Oh,
you
okay,
for
okay. So it went live yesterday. You can buy it at theredtacos.com, we use Square. So basically, you can pay online and then pick up on any of our locations. That's what we have out there at the moment. Melrose Market, of course. You know, they're basically purchase. Oh, okay. Oh, I brought my cell phone and the chip.
Square.
We're selling. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we have social media presence. You can barely see it on there. Find us as the Red Tacos on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. And so far, we have a social media base of about 10,000 followers, local on Facebook. We have a few thousands on Instagram. TikTok, we haven't really invested a whole lot of time on it just because it's only two of us and it's just a lot of work. Yeah. But we're growing every month. Our followers base increase. But we're about 10,000 last time I checked, I think, on Facebook in a few years.
Let's give them a hand. So we thank you all for coming out. We'll be back next month, third Wednesday, with 2 more presenters. One of them is here. Ask Kate anything. Kate's going to be presenting her business. We have another founder who's going to be coming. Thank you all for coming out. Drive safe. Stay dry.